Syracuse wins the tip. Ron Groover, Tommy Morrissey, Jerry Heater are our officials. And we are underway in the Dome. The second meeting between the Orange and the Tar Heels this season. The Syracuse team, which won 2 home games last week, got blown out by Duke on Monday at Cameron. The first shot missed from J.J. Starling and rebounded by William Kyle. Nate Kings. Starting 5 for Syracuse. Nate George runs the show with Starling, Kings, Freeman, and Kyle. That's a tough shot that rolls home for George, and Syracuse scores on the first 2 trips. Tar Heels just 3-5 on the road this season, undefeated at home. They have really struggled, particularly on defense on the road. Bogavac backs in the first 2, the junior from Montenegro. Freeman again, 17 a game to lead the Orange in his second year. Veesaar comes for the double. George whips it to Kings. Inside the paint, Kings' shot is denied by Veesaar. A shot clock violation, and already you may see in some desperation in the early minutes.
Is that how you're selling this one?
Absolutely. Wounded pride. Starling scores it for 2. I mean, Syracuse coming off the largest loss they've had in 20 years.
It garners your attention. When he's got the ball in his hands, he can shoot it from 3 and he can move it.
Kings, a little seal from Kyle, and Nate Kings makes it 8-2 Syracuse. Coming off an 82-58 loss at NC State Tuesday, their largest loss to state in 64 years, and they didn't have that guy. Veesaar with his first bucket.
I mean, I haven't been a doctor for a couple days, but I would say he looks pretty good to start.
Does it just come and go, your doctorate? Starling floats it home. 10-4. Starling has hit 2 or 3. The Orange, a hot shooting start, and there's Kyle. Fourth best shot blocker in the nation with his first swat. Trimble can't follow it up. Starling tips it out to Dixon, who buries a 3. First Syracuse substitutes are Tyler Betsy and the freshman Sadiq White. Jonathan Powell on the floor for Carolina. Bogavac finishes through contact and a 3-point opportunity.
Very aggressive. You deny the ball screen and just attack. No one's there to stop. If you have space to it, make the entire game uncomfortable. But how it's called will probably matter more than anything else.
2 top 4 matchups today. Third time that's happened in the regular season in the same day in the history. Here the Dome, Jonathan Powell, who was very good against Syracuse earlier in the month, has tied it with a 3.
I also think the early shot opportunities are there because there's more rhythm with a tempo push. There's less rhythm when the ball gets stagnant in the half court.
Maybe a little more Sadiq White today puts the Orange back in front. Veesaar into Kyle, raises over one of the nation's best shot blockers and scores.
It's really a clear right side where no help was present. So
second turnover.
This is just too easy. Just right on the block. The entire side is vacated, which allows that turn.
14-14, here's Starling leading the way with an early 6. Left it short, and the rebound bobbles out to Dixon. Carolina trying to run early. Powell buries it. You really have to fill this building to make it sound like it's full. And Syracuse has dropped to 6th in the nation in attendance this year. This is their biggest crowd of the season.
I was hoping you'd bring that up because I think that was shocking to both of us.
Anthony, short in transition. Kyle fumbles with the offensive rebound, does collect it. Kyle into Veesaar, and William Kyle will bank it home. What a move. Freeman has been off the floor for a long time for Syracuse. Veesaar buries a 3. Henri Veesaar in his first game back since last Tuesday has an early 9.
I think that's the key, and he's got the size advantage, but he doesn't settle with just having the size advantage. He gets the position advantage as well.
Evans lets it fly from 3. Boy, they need something out of Kyan Evans, who's been scoreless 5 of the last 7, and that is a great sign for Hubert Davis.
I think sometimes we get lost like, well, yeah, he should do it. No, he shouldn't. He did it. God bless him for doing so.
Bogavac in the lane. Here's Jayden Young, Virginia Tech transfer. Dixon off a shot fake. A step back 2 is good for Derek Dixon, the freshman from Vienna, Virginia. Defended by Freeman. Gets the clean rejection this time. Syracuse has just 2 assists on 11 made baskets. As Betsy buries the first Orange 3. Final possession for the Orange. George drives it. George drops it off for White, denied by Veesaar. And then George heaves up a prayer that misses. George on the floor with Starling, Kings, Kyle, and Freeman. The Syracuse starting 5. J.J. Starling rolls it home. He's the first Syracuse player in double figures.
And that should make the game easier for everybody else.
Veesaar with an early touch and a good find. The first field goal for Stevenson, all set up by Henri Veesaar. Nate Kings has been playing really well, just 4 points in that first half. Syracuse only hit 1 3. They had been doing a lot of their work in the paint with that guy. Starling now with a dozen. And get a charge. One of the best things the NCAA's done the last couple of years.
More plays at the rim. I mean, it's been better basketball. It's created more fluidity on the floor.
Starling attacks and scores. He's got the first 6 in the half.
So it's got to lead to an aggressive initial surge.
Bogavac for Veesaar. Wow! Knocked up by Starling almost through the hoop. And they're not necessarily scoring, but they get Kings out of the game because of, as you deemed it, the lack of nonsense fake offense. As Bogavac scores to put UNC back in front. We got nothing moving in this possession toward the rim until now, and Trimble finally gets on the board.
Well, he got a matchup he likes. He just got under Donnie Freeman. He got all the way to the basket.
Early offense from Starling, who's got 16.
Offensively, Carolina's been running a zone offense against man. A lot of standing around.
Here's Veesaar back on the floor, trying to back down Kyle. Veesaar scores it. Syracuse defended well enough. They haven't needed threes. They're 1 for 10, and yet they're tied.
Hey, you make me feel badly about criticizing that miss.
Well, I'm sure you knew that. You do your homework. Trimble inside. That's tapped in by Zayden High. And Carolina's back in front. So we'll say it's been a lot of individual brilliance. How about that?
Sometimes it's get yours basketball.
Starling just got his pocket picked by Trimble. Ah! And Zayden High enjoyed it.
You go back outside, you kick it out, and he pump fakes and goes to the basket. Now this is just too easy for Melo Trimble, but this just gets so stagnant when they can't attack in transition. And good on Syracuse for taking transition opportunities away.
Trimble in the paint, 6 straight for the Heels, and Trimble has finally put his stamp on the game. High and a back down of White. Veesaar, take the 3, and soars in for a sky-high 2.
Inside out basket, pump fake, go to the basket, finish.
Can he find it in the final 9 minutes with the Orange down 6? Veesaar, Powell, fake to 3. Powell drives into Kyle. Ball ends up in the hands of High, and he is fouled. Bull lost it. Back out for George. A refeed to Freeman. He's got to go, and that tough 2 is short.
Look where he's getting the catch. Do your work early. You've got an advantage. Put yourself in a position where you can take advantage of it. That's one.
All the way for Trimble.
Effort it took to get you where you wanted to get the ball. And Donnie Freeman's just standing and waiting to get the catch.
Syracuse still just 1 made 3 in the game in 11 tries, and George makes it 1 for 12. Gets it back from Kyle. Freeman drives it on Stevenson. Freeman finally gets it to go.
And it's not about Yaxel as much as about can Cameron Boozer play that versatile game, because Lendenborg's been all over the court.
Zayden High with a corner 3, just his second 3 of the year. Here's Donnie. Bodying up Stevenson. Here's Donnie. Syracuse looking for its first ranked conference win in 2 years. Down 8 in the closing stretch. Bogavac gets a step on Kings and blows by him. Tar Heels trying to get to 2-1 without Caleb Wilson. And Henri Veesaar's return. Veesaar scores it over Kyle, who wants to travel.
A lot of things we have to figure out.
Veesaar's wide open under the basket, and Veesaar, in his return to the lineup, has scored a game-high 19. We'll send you there when we're done to John Shambi and Fran Fraschilla. Betsy, Syracuse's first 3 in 19 minutes of game time since Tyler Betsy. And then Carolina answers with a fast break layup from Trimble. George, stopped by Veesaar. Kyle off the offensive rebound, sets up Starling, who can't connect from deep. Starling, in a long time since his last bucket. Stevenson helped get a piece of that one. Jared Stevenson making an impact in a game where he's only scored 3. He will be aggressive here. He's now up to 5, and UNC is running away with it late.
He don't want nothing to do with this either.
I mean,
you say it's in a weird place for Syracuse. It's in a weird place for college basketball.
Yes.
And I think the next 2 or 3 years, when we start to figure out.
And yet, unless they have a miraculous surge down the stretch, it's going to be their longest NCAA tournament drought. 5 years since 67 to 72. Arizona, Houston are coming up on ABC. But in the entree, it's North Carolina coming into the Dome with a 77-64 win. A welcome return for Henri Veesaar and Hubert Davis' Tar Heels.